because as you said, it's very shallow. Everything is like grammar, punctuation, and the structural editing is lacking. And sometimes you need another pair of eyes to read what you have. But I mean, I think maybe everybody's sort of focusing on biographies, autobiographies, but I think what Evan started with was very interesting. Nobody like the non-fiction aspect of writing, creative, and
how we can explore
how because this new way of writing, it's all about creative non-fiction.
These are creative non-fiction. This is all creative. So maybe we can spend some time. Are you still from the academic background? That's a different question.
I was out of curiosity. You were talking about. I watched the TV version, and the interview with Kojo Chikata about his involvement or non-involvement, and I was thinking, if I have to write this man's autobiography, everybody will want to know the role he played in the killing of the judges. How discreet can you be if everybody thinks that if a book comes out on Captain Kojo Chikata, that part should be in? What do you want it on? Yes. How discreet can you be?
If it's his autobiography or it's their autobiography, let them tell their version of the story. Because almost every Ghanaian has a version of that particular lowest ebb in our history, one way or the other. Let them tell their version of the story. But if it's a biography, that's when you exercise your editorial masterpiece in terms of situating the comments and the various angles of the stories, and still producing the person's version of the story in the same book for the sake of clarity and objectivity.
Sometimes you may have to leave it as a book. That's where the creative. It's
It's a perfect question, because why don't you just write it as you're being an observer, researcher of history?
Exactly.
There's one of the best articles written by a guy called Gay Talisi, and he wrote about Frank Sinatra, and in an article, and he didn't even interview him. It's counted as one of the best biographical articles on a famous star. He didn't even meet him.
Just observe.
Yes, and he met his friends and whatever, because the week he was going to meet him, Sinatra was sick or whatever. But I mean, that's creative non-fiction, like you said. You saw the bank issue that's happening.
Yeah,
and he wrote it, and this is how the modern writing is going through. Not, please, can I take your permission to write a book? He was born 63. And it needs to be a bit more creative than that, I think.
No, I mean, you can't do biographies if you're not creative. I mean, it's a beautiful genre. You know, you can. I haven't found anybody who reads. You have to be You have to really be conversational in a lot of things.
Okay,
back to your question.
I think the writer Toni Morrison said that if there's a book that you desperately want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you write it. And so if I want to read a book about Mo or something, I want to find the exciting bits of the book. I need it to be an adventure of Mo's life, even if it's boring. The craft of the writer is to turn it into a page turner, and that for us is a difficulty. But that is why we should always be, hard on ourselves to make sure the outcome is quality. A writer who doesn't read has no business writing. I mean, if you don't read, if you are not vexed in the happenings of the world, I mean, even in this current world, I mean, I say that we are in the presence of the greatest thing that ever happened to history, because knowledge is available to everybody at the same time, everywhere across the globe, at the touch of a button. It hasn't happened before in the history of the world. And so people are itching to read, and people are also itching to read and read quick. People don't have time to sit down over hours of pouring into boring books. So we should make it interesting for them. That's a challenge, but it's also an adventure and something I embrace.
I'll just go back. I don't like to refer too much.